Hey everybody, welcome back. So today I'm going to show you the Bestargot French Press Titanium coffee maker and pot. Alright everybody, welcome back. So I got something really cool here today. If you've watched my channel, you know I love coffee. I love making it in the outdoors, and there's so many different ways to do it. But I like the French press method, and this is an actual French press that I feel will probably work a whole lot better than the other methods I was using. I love the AeroPress. I want to try out the new AeroPress, the smaller one with the compact rubber cup. But I'm going to try this out today and see how I like it. It's definitely something I could see myself using. It's definitely something I could see myself using in the outdoors. It's a cool little pot and French press. So that's the cool part about it, is if you have a small, get-home bag, a bug-out bag, an emergency bag type thing, and we have something else coming to the channel probably in a couple months that's going to be totally different and off the key, but it's going to be survival related. And something like this is definitely going to come in handy with that project. I'll let you know when that comes, but that's going to be part of the kit that I keep in that something. So you'll see when it gets here. But it's definitely something that I could see for a compact kit, where you don't want to carry a ton of stuff, and maybe, a pot, and then a coffee maker, or the AeroPress, or filters, or anything. So something like this kind of has a dual purpose. You can cook in it, you can heat up water for freeze-dried entrees in it, and you can make coffee in it. So let's take a look at it. It's 7.7 ounces. You've got your pot here. This is all titanium. It's got a bail on it too, which is cool because you can hang it over a fire. I see that less and less on stuff, and I want to use it more and more when I'm cooking. So that's kind of neat that it has that on there. It's got the graduation marks that are readable from the inside. You probably can't see that in the light here, but you can see them on the outside. They could be stamped in a little bit deeper. You kind of have to hold them at an angle. Like I can see that's 16 ounces and 8 ounces. But you kind of have to hold it at an angle, probably because you're supposed to look in here, and in here I can see it a lot better down inside the cup. The only thing on here that is not titanium is, of course, the bar in the middle there, and the press itself. Another nice thing about this is the filter on here is really fine, probably finest I've ever seen on a French press, and that means that your grounds won't get into your coffee, which is really, really cool. So the weight on it, like I said, 7.7 ounces or 220 grams. Capacity is 25.3 ounces or 750 milliliters. And dimensions are 3.9 diameter by 4.33 height. It's a 2-in-1 design. You can cook in it. You can make coffee, like I said. So we're going to give it a little test on both today. I'm going to get everything set up over here, and we're going to make some coffee with it first. And then I'm just going to try to make some ramen soup in it. I don't want to use up an entree for the video, a freeze-dried entree for the video, because they're kind of hard to come by right now. So we'll just do that and try it out. Alright, so I'm going to fill it up. I'm going to take it up to probably the 16 ounces. And the cool thing about this too is you can use it as a cup. Titanium tends to cool off fairly quickly, which is kind of neat. Let me turn that around so I can actually see with the graduations inside. So you can use it as a cup. It's fairly simple. It's not too difficult to do that. And that's 2 cups of water. That should do it. We are going to use an actual coffee cup today. But we're going to put this on. And I'm not going to cover it. And we'll get into using the lid for other stuff later on when you're cooking if you want to use the lid. This does all come apart. You can unscrew that and this all comes apart. You can use the lid if you want just as a lid. There's little steam vents on it and everything. What I'm going to do is boil up the water. And we will see how well that goes. So let me fire this up and I'll bring you back when it's all boiled and ready. There we go. And I will see you in a few minutes. Alright, so we have a nice boil going on in there. That was fairly quick. I didn't time it, but I would say it's probably around 2 to 3 minutes. These are warm, so again, when you're taking this stuff off the fire, you definitely want something on there that can protect your fingers. I'm just using paper towels, but you get the idea. So let's push that down. There we go. Dump in the coffee here. Let's see. I like my coffee rather strong, so I'll probably do 3 scoops in it. Stir that up. I also like to let it sit for a little bit before I push it down. Kind of let it brew. There you go. So that's all stirred in. Okay. Wipe that off. There you go. Now, for time's sake, I'm not going to let that sit there for 5 minutes, or 3 minutes, or whatever. I'm just going to put this in. Put the lid in place, snap it into place, and push down. There you go. So let's see what kind of result we get here. Put my coffee cup back there. Pick this up and pour. I like the fact that it has a pour spout too. That's handy for anything, even if you're just heating up some soup and you want to pour it into your bowl or whatever. Makes it really simple to do. So there you go. I didn't see any grains. I didn't see any grounds in it. Move that out of the way. So there you go. Makes a nice cup of coffee. Again, it is really a 1 or 2 cup coffee maker, depending on how big your cups are. This Kuksa isn't very large. You know, it's just a small little cup, probably about 8 ounces. So definitely a cool little camp coffee maker. Now what we're going to try, once I finish this coffee up, is we're going to try some ramen soup. And I don't believe the whole ramen will fit in there, so we'll probably break off an edge and toss it in there and see how well that works, just making it like a pot. So you realize you can do this for coffee, and then you can, when your coffee's done, you can make yourself some lunch. Definitely a cool multi-use item. And in a get-home bag or go bag, something like that's kind of handy to have. You know, two uses for it. I assume, probably, if you looked hard enough, you could probably even buy another lid for this and not even have to mess around with taking this apart every time. And I'm going to actually look online and see if I can find another titanium lid for it. Anyway, let me get through this coffee and drink it up, and we'll bring you back for the cookie end things. All right, rinsed it right out with just some water. Wiped it out with a paper towel. Easy to clean up. You know, no problems there. Makes a little bit more coffee than I expected. I filled this up again, and then I topped off my regular coffee cup here, and I'm like, good Lord, that makes a lot of coffee. So it's not as tiny as you think. Not too bad. So, let me get this filled up with water. I'm not quite sure how much I should use because I've never used a tall pot like this to make soup. And let's see how this fits, if it fits. I doubt it will. It's a little bit wider than the mouth of the cup. But that's no big deal. I've broken them apart before to cook them. And I mean, this isn't really cooking. This is really rehydrating noodles. But I'm sure you could warm up soup in this or make soup out of it. So yeah, it needs a little bit off there. So we'll break aside and drop it in. And keep the spice pack out there. So let's fire up the stove again. I'm going to use some matches I got to use up. There we go. And I will put that right on there and bring you back when that's ready to take a look at and see how that works. I'm sure it's going to work. It's really nothing more than a pot, but it is kind of nice to demonstrate that it can do 2 things instead of just 1. So, bring you back in a few minutes. Alright, so I let it come to a boil, kind of let it sit there for a little bit. And if you know anything about ramen soups, they like to overflow if they boil for too long. I just shut it off and let it sit there. And the noodles are completely cooked. I am going to dump some of that liquid out because I kind of like a little less liquid with my ramen. So let me go dump that out. And through the magic of editing, I'll be right back. And poof, I'm right back. Alright, let's try it out. See how that fits. See, that's good now. Now I can hold that. Another thing I like about titanium is the handles. You know, these are really, really hot when you're cooking on it. But once it's done, you can pick that up, no problem at all. And it probably only sat there for about 2 minutes, so I let it kind of just sit and cook. Dump that in. No fancy ramen recipes today. We're using the salt bomb. And there you go. You got a cup of soup, and a cup of coffee. Actually, 2 or 3 cups of coffee in that size cup. And you're set to go. Really neat little system. You know, and I like the fact that it's a dual-use system. I consider it a great luxury item if you're camping, and a good utility item for a get-home bag or a bug-out bag as a cook pot and coffee maker. If you're not a big coffee fan, I wouldn't spend the extra money, you know. But if you like your cup of coffee in the morning and maybe a cup at lunch, whatever, I'd spend the extra money and get it and just use that as your cook pot. I mean, it holds 2 cups. 99% of the freeze-dried entrees I've seen for camping stuff and, you know, what we use for our bug-out bags, use 2 cups of water. So it's really kind of close right on the money. Even if it's 2 cups and a half, you can still overflow it a little bit. So, there you go. I think I'm going to have some lunch, enjoy my coffee, and I thank you guys for joining me. I will put a link down below where you can pick this up. They run about $35, and I assume that's because it's got, you know, the press and the bag. It does come with a nice, very nice bag, actually. Pretty decent stuff sack with a lined interior so it doesn't get all caught in there. Nice stuff all in all, you know. Seems to be very high quality titanium. You know, no problems with it at all. Didn't bulge or anything under heat, and I had it pretty hot before. So I like it. Going to be definitely a handy little thing with my future project. You guys will see this. Like I said, it's probably months away, but it's going to come in handy as a cook kit for my future project. Let's just put it like that. So I thank you guys for watching. I will put a link down below where you can pick this up. This is in my store. If you guys are interested in checking out my Amazon store down below, even if there's nothing in the store you like, just click the link and shop as you normally would. And don't forget to check out our Thrive Life link down below. And don't forget, we have our My Patriot Supply sale going on right now. You can check that out at preparewithiridium.com. That's preparewithiridium.com. Definitely time to get stocked up on food because the second wave of food shortages, I think, will probably hit pretty soon, especially with all the stuff we're seeing in the news. And if not, well, hey, you're prepared for the next emergency. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.